Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, we meet again with me Alfanwari. So in this video, I would like to give a presentation about comparative literary history. So first, let me share screen my PPT. So here we go. Sorry, first slide please. Okay, here we go. Comparative literary history. So this presentation is actually for my subject comparative literature with Miss Lenny Merlina. So let me get started. At the 19th century, French origins of comparative literature as a discipline, and some of its practitioners advocated calling it the comparative history of literatures. And here is Jean-Jacques Ampère. He argued that literary science is made up of two branches. There are literary theory or literary philosophy, which is nowadays we call it literary theory, and then history of literature. He also distinguishes two methods. Firstly, it is about comparison, a method for highlighting the key features of literary works with the help of parallels and contrasts. And then the second one is filiation, a closer bond whereby literary works are linked to one another due to the fact of their production. So, what is comparative literature history? I mean, comparative literary history then. Uh, La Literature Compare, 1931, Paul van Tighem stated that the distinctiveness of comparative literary history is international literary history. It lies in its content and organization, which is as for content. International literary history challenges national canons in as much as writers considered secondary in their national tradition may play a key role within the international sense. And then the second one, organization. As for organization, international literary history shall adopt a rational order which may stem from either long periods or literary areas that in a specific sequence of time contribute to the development of a topic, style, genre, movement, and etc. What does it mean to compare in general history? So here is plot 45. To choose from one or several social situations, two or more phenomena which appear at first sight to offer certain analogies between them, then to trace their line of evolution, to note the linknesses and the differences, and as far as possible explain them. Thus, two conditions are necessary to make a comparison. Historically speaking, possible. There must be a certain similarity between the facts observed, an obvious point, and a certain dissimilarity between the situation in which they have arisen. So, next slide will be the definition of comparative history. There are three definitions that I'm going to give for you in this presentation. The first one is comparative history is an orientation toward the study of the past based on the use of analogies between two or more societies or periods. And then the second one, comparative history is a sub-discipline of historiography characterized by the systematic comparison of carefully defined ideas or institutions in different societies. And then the last one, the third one, a specific method of comparative history is a specific method of historical explanation in which developments in one social situations are explained by comparing them to developments in other social situation. Ritter 55. And here are some lessons of comparative history. The first one, comparisons as a method of may be applied to several kinds of objects from etats or etats generics or provincials, and the use of gold coins to land holding systems and kings with supernatural natural powers. 1.1, typically these objects transcends and the boundaries of any single social system. And then 1.2, still from the point 1, comparison is not equal to the juxtaposition of the objects of study. And then the last one from the first point, 1.3, a history can be comparative even though it deals with a single object provided that comparison is used in formulating problems and explanation are comparatively tested. And then from this point, we have another point, 1.3.1. When applied to at least two different objects, there are no priori rules to determine how different or similar these objects should be. Number 2, or point 2, the lesson of comparative history. Second one is in contrast to 19th century comparative history or comparative in the grand manner. Contemporary comparative history in the wake of blood privileges, comparisons of synchronic societies in contact over societies that are remote spatially and or temporally from each other. From this point, from this two, from this point 2, we have another point 2.1. It is implicitly stated that temporal and spatial proximity assures similarity. And then the third one, the third lesson of comparative history. Though initially interested in stressing similarities, comparative history progressively has oriented towards what makes distinctive an object of study. And then the last one, the last lesson of comparative history is the point 4, which is comparison as a method is one thing, comparison as perspective is another. So that's all for the comparative literary history. If you guys have any questions, you can comment on the comment section below, or maybe you can contact me on my social media. Uh, so the last I say thank you for watching me, thank you for your attention, and see you. Have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.